I want my feet crossed under his butt. I'm driving my hips down a little on it. Now, from here, what I want to do is I want to start to separate his elbows from his body, and we're going to ride up to a high mount. And once I get that, my legs underneath his arms, I'm just going to sit my weight down on him. I don't want to be up here where there's no weight on him. I'm sitting back on my butt. Notice that my knees are light, my heels are tight against his hips, okay? From this position, first attack, he's covering up, he's protecting, okay? I'm gonna grab his wrist, I'm gonna grab his elbow, I'm gonna push across and I'm gonna land on top of him just like this. Notice his hand's forced across. I drop back down to the low mount. From here, my hand slides behind his head, I grab his wrist, okay? From this position, I slide and lock my hands together. I'm going to force him up on his side. My knee's going to come up, and this foot's going to come against his hip, just like this. I'm going to sit him up into my lap. As I do, I'm going to roll to this side, and my feet are going to come. I'm going to bring my feet just like this, okay, from this position. From here, what I can do is I can trap this hand and I can start to attack this choke. Now that I trap this hand right here, what he's going to do is he's going to fight the choke with this hand. And he's going to start pulling this hand down. I'm going to kind of like let him pull this hand down, think he's defending it, and then I'm just going to bring my foot over and trap this arm just like this. See how that is? Now this hand's trapped, now this hand's trapped. Now I go under him just like this. When I do, I trap this arm. Watch what I do. I'm going to keep my head tight to him, and I'm going to just pull my elbow back and choke him from here, okay? So, we're here in the low mount, okay? Here, I can lift his elbow, bring this leg up, lift this elbow, bring this leg up. I'm sitting heavy. I'm light on my knees. My heels are pinning his hips here, okay? From this position, I grab his wrist, I grab his elbow, I force it across and I drop my weight on him. This hand slides behind his neck, I grab his wrist. This hand slides, grabs my other wrist. I put him on his side. I slide this knee here, and I put that foot against his hip like this, blocking his hip. I'm going to pull him up straight, roll him to the side like this. And I can lock my feet just like this in this position. This hand comes and traps his wrist down. I start to feed this hook. He starts to go. I kind of like let it go down far enough so I can reach around and lock his hand with that foot. Now, my choke is underneath him. Now from here, he has no hand, so I can just choke him with one hand. I keep my ear tight to his ear, and I lock my hand against his shoulder, and I start pulling my elbow back, and I can choke him. Okay, one more time. In the low mount. He's got his elbows in tight. I lift, I slide, I lift, I slide, I sit back. My heels are tight against his hips. My knees are here, my weight's on him. I get his elbow, get his wrist, I pull, drop my weight. I slide, grab his wrist, grab my own wrist. Pull him on his side. I come to the technical mount. I sit him up into my lap. See this? I'm sitting up here. I'm going to roll to this side. As I do, I bring my feet in here. This hand switches, I trap this wrist. I go to attack, he starts pulling. I let him get it low enough so I can come around and trap that foot. And then I bring my choke in. I bring my elbow back, and my ear stays tight to his ear. I choke him. Let's try it, guys.